All right, game 3. I actually realized that I may have been recording the sounds again because I actually had the system sounds. I think I set the video capture software to not record the system sounds, but of course it's the Magic the Gathering Online sounds that that actually needed to be disabled. So please excuse me if the system sounds were or if the game sounds were still on. I'll see, but I think this will finally have that fixed. And I think this is a keep. It's not particularly aggressive, but I do have a healthy amount of burn spells, and having the ability to play Bone Crusher Giant on turn 3 can be good enough. This effectively makes me more of a mid-range deck in this particular game. But I think, given the way the format is in this particular, and it looks like we're against Hardened Scales or Elves. Yeah, I think given this matchup, it's more than fine for us to basically play out like a mid-range deck now. And we do draw an aggressive creature, so we can actually play a little more aggressively too. I wonder if they're playing Mutagenic Growth now. Or if maybe they're just multi-queuing. All right. Yeah, I think Elves is a pretty favorable matchup. I just have so many answers to basically anything they play, and here they have to play a clan call. They may have to, they may have a elite, Dwenyan's elite, or however that's pronounced, and not be able to get value out of it, which is pretty nice. I guess they, important to note that they can protect their creature from a 1 or 2 mana burn spell. I think the play here is to pass the turn. If I can stomp, I think that's where I want to be. And they almost certainly will produce another elf to target. So if worst case scenario, I can double lightning bolt. But yeah, but this way, if they leave themselves open to getting stomped, I can do that, and I think that's what I would like to do if possible. It's most mana efficient. Yeah, but here I will lightning bolt just to keep them off of that extra elf. And I don't feel too particularly bad about that because basically none of their creatures are three toughness anyway, except for I forget the name of the card, but that Azuri, that's it, Azuri Renegade Leader. All right, so I can stomp this, and I think I will. Or maybe I'll wait until their turn. Only problem, though, is that they might have Collected Company, and that could be a blowout, so... yeah, it could have some kind of blowout here, too, but I think waiting until next turn increases the likelihood of a blowout. I don't know if they play... I don't know, I don't think they started playing Vines of Vastwood, or even something like Giant Growth. So... I think this makes sense. So I wonder what they have here. Or if they're just, double queuing. I think they might be double queuing. Definitely, definitely slows things down sometimes. Yeah, Devoted Druid. Okay, maybe they're some type of... I think there's some type of combo. Bloom Tender. Well, there is some type of combo, I think, with this. Well, I'm gonna stomp again. Yeah, this wasn't exactly... My mana didn't exactly end up getting used as efficiently as I would have hoped. But I do think it was worth it to keep them off of a 1/1 elf. I would have taken some damage, and you know, it would have been an annoying blocker that they could always pump with Pendelhaven. Pendelhaven is definitely a lot of good value in this elf deck, because without it, it just might have not been worth it to try to you know, keep them off of the token by playing the Lightning Bolt, and instead just let them have it and stomp the elite at the end of their turn. But you know, because I think it gives them enough value, I think this makes sense. Oh, Azuri isn't even 3 toughness. I don't know why I thought it was. Yeah, like literally their entire deck is 2 toughness or less. So, so yeah, maybe I was actually maybe I actually don't need to try to stomp, try to use my stomps as strategically like I was. Although all their 1 toughness creatures are effectively 3 toughness with Pendelhaven if they keep a mana up. So there is that. That actually does still incentivize me to use my stomps on 2 toughness creatures specifically. And it definitely does look like the opponent is double queuing. Yeah, again, the Elves matchup is it is generally quite favorable. You know, even if they play Collected Company, which helps them, you know, generate extra value, they just generally can't keep up with the value that this deck can generate. And I'm just going to Flame Slash and play Blister Coil Weird. You know, just Lightning Bolt being an instant is just pretty good, and I don't think there's really anything that is 4 toughness, you know, unless they play main deck Spellskite, which is unlikely, and I do have another Flame Slash anyway, if that's the case. Alright, more double queuing, pausing and delaying. Alright. Or maybe just a bad connection, you know, I do have to keep that in mind. Sometimes, actually, I have a really laggy bad connection, but I don't know, something about the way the game is flowing, I feel like it's more likely double queuing, because, you know, usually when it's lagging, you get like an okay screen, or like it can be a little hard to tell from the other side sometimes, but I you know, you can kind of tell with a certain rhythm that's going on a lot of times. All right, I'm just gonna burn this. There was some merit to possibly attacking if they blocked, you know, then lightning bolting to pump it, but I just like lightning bolt being instant speed. If they do have Collected Company, being able to kill something when it you know, in combat is kind of nice. All right, so I'll probably just play the Swift Spear. You know, of course, if they have another elite, they could play an elf and the elite, but I think it's worth it enough to possibly conserve my mana a little bit better and set up for a bigger turn with more prowess. That I can let that happen. Yeah, and if they don't hit 4 mana, sometimes that can just be too much. You know, interestingly enough, that game, they didn't have any basic forests. Blood Moon might have been insane. It's strange to bring in Blood Moon against a basically mostly mono-green deck, but, you know, that might actually be not a bad idea. We'll try it at least. I guess I'll take out Blister Coil Weird. You know, I mean, it's the most likely to get actually, though, being able to untap is particularly nice in this matchup. Most of the creatures are small enough that they can't quite block it, even with its lower toughness. And as long as I've got 1 mana up or a Lava Dart in my graveyard, it always threatens to possibly untap and block. But they usually do bring in Scavenging Ooze. And Haste and I think the -1/-1 counter ability just are generally better enough. Plus, they don't synergize well with the Kozilek's Return, so I am going to run it this way. If I do see Scavenging Ooze, I may bring in Relic, and if I do lose this game to it, that's one of the only ways I've lost to Elves in the past is if they drop a Scavenging Ooze late in the game after I've killed most of their Elves, and then it just becomes incredibly big. Also, Shaper's Sanctuary can make things very awkward. I have no enchant removal, so that basically makes it so that I cannot outgrind them. But I think the solution in Shaper's Sanctuary's case is to just prioritize playing the creatures first, and then you know, just try to beat them through like just rushing them down. You know, but that will improve their chances of winning quite a lot. But I have won before with Shaper's Sanctuary in play even. So yeah, I'm just gonna stomp again on my turn. You know, that was a mistake from them. They could have removed the -1/-1 counters to prevent me from, or they could have put -1/-1 counters on it to prevent me from getting the giant. I was still willing to make that trade because I did have another giant, and it was just the most efficient use of my mana. And this puts me in a situation where I have to kill this turn. I think I'm going to Flame Slash. They may have some kind of weird protection ability, in which case I can respond with Bone Crusher. Also, I can Bone Crush on their turn if they play almost any creature. And of course, you know, they can prevent me from getting the giant. Yeah, this is prime Bone Crush material. And if I stomp right now, it won't even do damage. So pretty sweet, if I say so myself. I think I'm going to just play the Bone Crusher Giant. You know. And the thing about this matchup is just Lava Dart basically deals with most of their creatures. So they definitely have Collected Company. Otherwise, they would have played their Elite they revealed. But I still think I'm in pretty good shape. I could potentially kill both of whatever they put into play. Yeah, it's one of those matchups that, yeah, probably from the Elf side, it can be kind of, you know, difficult. You know, I do think Shaper's Sanctuary is probably where they want to be. That's also where Kozilek's Return helps a lot, though, because they don't get cards off of it. I think I'll go again. It's high enough upside. I've still got the Lava Dart, even if I don't hit a land, to play Kozilek's Return on their turn. I do want to leave up at least something, though, because we do pretty much know for a fact they've got Collected Company, and yeah, I mean, another thing about playing Light Up the Stage now is that this is kind of making it so we've got to play it at some point anyway in the next turn or so, and we already have Spectacle, so I feel like this maximizes the utility of this card. Well, we already have Spectacle. We don't have to do anything like play Lava Dart or anything to get it. I feel like this game might have been over in like under 10 minutes if the opponent either had a better connection or was not double queuing, depending on what's going on. Oh, and I did draw a land. So I think I will hold up. Kozilek's Return. Yeah, there is the Collected Company. That for sure was going to happen. See, they could pump their whole team if they draw another mana, and they could also play a Collected Company and, I don't know, put in 2 Elvish Archdruids. There's some consideration to possibly letting them untap, but, you know, I'll take my 2 for 1 where I can get it. Because it felt like it was either here or their upkeep, and their upkeep could expose me to some type of blowout with Collected Company. If it wasn't Uzuri specifically, it might have been fine to wait until the end of their turn. But because they could possibly leave up 5 mana, and it seems unlikely. Yeah, but also they could start regenerating any other creature with Uzuri, so there's just a lot of upside just playing Kozilek's Return there. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with this. Losing 1 life is not that menacing. Yeah, this is not looking good for the opponent. Yeah, it seems silly to have the Blood Moons now, but just given their last hand, it just seemed particularly good. Alright, so, you know what, I'm going to play Seasoned Pyromancer, I think, from Exile right now. You know, and Lightning Bolt is good enough that I think it's worth not having access to another 2/2 and more card advantage down the line. Nah, I changed my mind. I mean, basically all my burn spells do the same thing, and the odds of me, you know, drawing something else off of Seasoned Pyromancer are pretty high. So... and this will just keep the gas coming for ages. Not that we particularly need it, but, you know, I try not to think like I've already... I mean, I know it seemed like in the blue-red matchup game that I was pretty confident, but I try not to convince myself too much that there's nothing that can possibly turn the tides. You know, every game that you lose because you didn't take it seriously enough and they make an insane comeback is insanely negative EV. Alright. Well, off to a very good start.